Hey everybody, welcome back. As you can see here, we're going to do an egg cutting. This is the first one we've actually done in probably 2 to 3 months. And it's kind of like the end of the cycle here. So actually, my other eggs for my lightning pie just dropped last week. So, we'll have those in about 2 months. So, beginning of August or so. And then I do have quite a few clutches coming right after that. I think I'm probably going to have about 8 clutches this year or so, or 8 remaining clutches. But by September or so, we should be done cutting eggs for good. So this is a really cool clutch. Lots of potential here. I'm hoping for some fireworks. So it was a double het DG Clown male from Canova that was also Confusion, Pinstripe, ODYB, I believe Leopard, and possibly Fire, bred to a pied double het DG Clown. So I have very short, very long odds of hitting a DG Clown. But if I do, there should be some kind of fireworks in terms of what the genetics are in that snake. So, fingers crossed that we hit a DG Clown. I hit some really nice ones last year. I'm hoping that this clutch proves to be fruitful like those ones were. I think I had pretty long odds last year too, in terms of what I was actually gonna be able to hit. So the male was from Canova here, and the female is actually from Chimera. So some good pedigree. Oh, we had a clown here. It does not look DG to me, but there looks to be something going on. Look, some pretty cool genetics. The colors are still sort of pale. I don't feel like it's really fired up yet, if that's coming in there. So I'm not sure what we got going on, but that's a really, really cool looking snake. Looks like a nice clown. So at least we proved out clown in that female. Clean that up. Let's get another paper towel. But yeah, hopefully we get, I'd like to see one DG Clown. This is really my last chance at DG Clowns here. I don't have anything left in the project. So I'm hoping. I do squeeze out this. You guys have asked quite a few times. I squeeze out the albumin. It doesn't need to be in there anymore. And I feel like if I leave it just kind of sit in the egg box for the next couple days before that hatches, it kind of leaves it to be potentially moldy, messy. So I usually just squeeze out a little bit of excess instead of leaving it in there. Hasn't caused any issues yet, so I'm going to keep doing it the way I do it. Here's another pretty snake. I mean, this one looks like it could be a DG Clown. If I can get that in there. It looks very clean. So this might actually be a double visual with some genes in there. It's definitely not just plain. So we could have hit maybe a potentially really, really cool looking snake there. So I'm really excited to see what that one actually out of the egg. It's funny, these are still sort of pale. Like the snakes haven't fired up, they almost look axanthic, but the odds of there being axanthic and they're basically zero, especially both parents, considering neither one of them were listed as that. But this one does look a lot brighter and cleaner than that one. So there's potential that one could be the double visual. 5 eggs, basically I had very, very long odds of hitting any double visuals in this. So I mean, if I get one, it's a good clutch. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we just keep getting good odds here. This will be really killer. If I get a bunch of really nice, cool looking snakes out of here. Let's see. Especially because it propped up my bottom line a little bit. I'm going to sell some of these guys. This one does not look to be a clown, but he's sort of belly up. It's a very bright snake, but we'll see once that one comes out. Like, it's very hard to tell what's going on out there because it's sort of belly up in the egg. Um, so we'll see on that one. That one's sort of inconclusive. Gotta get one more paper towel here. Alrighty, let's see. Let's see what we got. Egg number 4. It's a first time mom too, so she actually, this one's like not even dimpled at all. No dimpling on this egg yet. Let's see. Got a lot of juice. Gotta cut this one sort of differently. Let's see. Ooh, it's our first pinstripe, potentially a pinstripe confusion, or a pinstripe clown at least. But again, this one's like super bright, if that's showing up there in the picture. So it looks like we got some nice variety so far. This one looks really cool. This is a very reduced pattern, so I'm going to be very excited to see what that looks like once it's actually out of the egg and it has some time to kind of fire up their colors there. That's the one. I love pinstripe. It's always been one of my favorite genes. I think it works well in clown and in pied. People, I think, kind of underestimate it a little bit. But I'm very curious to see what that snake is when it comes out, because the mom did not have any codons, just a plain pied double head. So there's nothing like crazy going on with the mom. So all the genes came from the dad, and I'm assuming Canova, ID'd it properly. It looked, from there were really no other snakes like it, so it's kind of hard to say, if they missed a gene or so. But I'm pretty confident in Canova's ability to ID snakes. So I'm pretty positive that what they ID'd was accurate. So like again, it was pinstripe, confusion, I think ODYB, I believe leopard was the other gene, and then they listed it as a possible fire. So judging by what this one looks like, we're gonna have a hell of a time IDing a lot of these snakes. This one looks even more reduced, if that pattern is showing up there for you. Less yellow from the sides of it. This is very reduced patterning. The other one has sort of more like open pinstripe design on the saddles. On this one, all the pinstripe designs seem to be kind of closed up. So, I mean, we got killer odds in this clutch. Now the dad had 5-6 genes, so the breeding potential there was always very big. Let me get the camera real quick here, pick you up and talk for a second or so. Let's see. So the dad had a ton of genes in him, which is why I always tell people to buy powerhouse males, because that male, you can potentially breed them to 3, 4, 5, 6 females every year and pass on all of those powerful genetics to a bunch of babies. Whereas if you just buy one really nice female, maybe she gives you a clutch once a year. Maybe it's once every 2 years. I know when I bought my first pair of lightning pieds, the female, she laid within the first 12 to 18 months for me, but like she took 2 years off before laying her second clutch. And now she laid 2 clutches in the last 12 months. So you never know what you're getting with a female, but assuming your male is fertile and he eats well, the potential for you to maximize his genetics are humongous. So this male when I originally purchased him from Canova, the whole plan when I was, kind of trying to get more into the DG Clown project, because I didn't have any at that point, was to spread him like wildfire to everything, especially because they had the confusion in there, plus a bunch of other very popular codoms that work really in anything. So that was the whole goal with him, and he looks like he did it in this clutch. Very excited to see the snakes out of the eggs so I can confirm their genetics. At the very least, the clown and the desert ghost, because those are obviously the two most important things. The nice thing about that is if they are DG clown, they're also going to be 100% het pied because the mom was a visual pied. So it makes it a lot easier to not have to pay for genetic tests or list the snakes as possible hets. Now, whereas because the dad didn't have any visuals, and if some of these aren't visual clown or visual desert ghost, then they're all going to be listed as 50%, or I need to genetic test them for all of those genes, which obviously there's 5 snakes. So, I'd be testing them for 2 each for DG and clown because I know they're 100% het pied, which adds up. It's going to be $100 a snake basically. So I don't want to have to do that. If I don't need to, I bought a bunch of testing credits with Charlie at shedtesting.com last year. So I have a bunch of test credits, but I wanted to save those for some other clutches, especially my lightning pied clutch, so I can test them for clown. But if I need to test these ones for DG and clown, I will. But those are all the things you sort of got to think of when you're doing that. So, we have this really cool clutch. I'm very excited to see them out of their eggs to see kind of more what we're looking at with these snakes, because they all look really cool. The two that look pinstripe and potentially pinstripe confusion, I'm really excited about, because that's what I was aiming for. If they're clown or DG clown, even better. I don't know if I've really seen confusion DG clowns sold anywhere. I'm still personally kind of on the back and forth between whether or not I want to keep any snakes for myself from this year, any of the ones I hatch, because I'm on the fence about whether or not keeping that 4 stack of the Vivarium Electronics enclosures. They're all 4x2, so they're perfect for ball pythons. I'm on the fence about whether or not I want to keep those and keep any of these ball pythons. If I hatch some really cool snakes in here, it's like it's not the middle of the ball python boom where I'm going to be getting a ton of money for something that's extremely rare. I can still get paid a nice premium for this snake if it's a DG clown het pied and it has 3 or 4 genes in it, including confusion. I'm sure that snake would probably sell pretty fast, but it's not going to be the crazy amount of money that things were selling for last year or 2 years ago. So my whole thought process is, do I just list it on Morph Market for a heavier price and be okay with keeping it if as a pet if nobody wants to buy it, or do I just keep it and raise it up and see what happens in the next 2 years, or do I just permanently keep it and say, look, I spent 6 years of my life and blood, sweat, and tears of creating this business. Even though I'm getting out, do I just want to keep a couple awesome snakes as part of my legacy? Like if I get this crazy MJ Xanthic lightning pied clown this year, if I get lucky enough to make one, I have probably 2 clutches where I have the odds of not good odds, but I have the chance to make one. Do I just keep it because that's like what my goal was, and just like, this is a cool snake, I have it, barely anybody else does. I don't know. I'm on the fence about all of it, so we'll see. It depends how the rest of the season goes. But once these guys get out, I'll make a video showing you what they look like. I'm really excited to see it because this is potentially a nice payday with this clutch. It's a small clutch, but there's so much genetic potential in there that it could be a really nice way to kick off the summer hatchling season.